It's finally here. The movie that we all was talking about. A lot of anticipation, a lot of hype around this one. We couldn't wait to see it, especially when they dropped the trailer. It definitely had us waiting for the day it was going to drop. And that is A Quiet Place Day One. Now, let me just tell you this before I go into my thoughts about the movie. This movie was very good, did not disappoint at all. But so far, the movies in the Quiet Place franchise has not disappointed. Now, some people was a little bit skeptical about this because it was a prequel, so they like, I didn't know what to expect. Maybe it may not do so well, but I didn't have those thoughts about it because of, for one, it's a quiet place. All the movies have been good, have not disappointed. The second thing is because you have Lupita Nyongo and Joseph Quinn, two really great actors who was in this film. So I knew that they were not going to disappoint. And with John Krasinski being behind this as well, it wasn't going to disappoint. So let's get into it. Number one, the story. Now, we all kind of knew what the story was going to be about. So it's not like this really deep story to figure out and like, oh, what happened? Listen, that we already knew what the story was. The aliens came to Earth, all hell broke loose. So we knew that. The second thing, the acting. As I said before, you have two great actors who delivered and did what they were supposed to do. And not only that, but let me just say this, all the actors in this movie did such a great job. Everybody did such a great job in this movie. Nobody disappointed. Nobody disappointed at all. And the thing that I liked about this movie was because it wasn't just the typical monster movie, okay, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's running for their life. You got a chance to connect with the actors. You got a chance to connect with them, got a little bit about their stories, how they, with everything that's going on, how they built relationships with each other. And it was how can I say this? It was an emotional roller coaster. It was an emotional roller coaster, but it definitely did not drop the ball at all. It did not drop the ball. From beginning to end, you kept your eyes on the screen. You definitely kept your eyes on the screen and you did not want to take your eyes off the screen. Even when the movie was over with, you were like, okay, it's going to be a post-credit scene or something because I definitely want to see this. That's how good the story and the actors connected on this. The next thing, the cinematography, the special effects, the jump scares, all that went together because the jump scares in here was not cheap jump scares. And y'all know what I'm talking about with those cheap jump scares that you see in some of these horror movies where you just be like, oh, okay. The cheap jump scares. These jump scares were not cheap because the sound, the cinematography, how everything went together, it was very intense. And you just was like, whoa. It made you feel like doing this movie that you was actually there with them when they was going through this. And you was just sitting like, oh shit, like, oh, uh-oh. Don't tell me it's gonna happen. Don't tell me it's gonna happen. Oh, that's how well it was put together. And let me just say this, because I don't do spoilers, but the ending of this film. The ending of this film is really going to get you. And for those who saw this movie, you know what I'm talking about. But for you guys who didn't see this movie, when you see the ending, you'll know what I'm talking about and come back and tell me. Because the way that it ended, it was just like, wow. You was left out that theater was like, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting for it to go this way, but I wasn't expecting to go that way. And you can just tell that they really took their time to make this project work. And with all the quiet places. And that's what you do when you're making a movie. You take your time to make sure that the writing, you pick the right actors, the way it's going to be shot, all that has to go together, because when all those go together, it's like Dr. Dre producing an album from top to bottom. You can't lose. And we see that now with a lot of movies that come out. They don't really take their time to put it together. It's like, let's just do a reboot or a remake, or they just take something and just throw it together and just say, okay, let's just throw it out there because people are going to watch it. And that's not the case. And we see that's not the case because we see what the numbers are doing with these movies coming out. And not only that, with people going to the theaters. You have some people that are not going to the movie theaters like they used to. And if they do go to the movie, it has to be something that they want to see. It has to make sense to them. The movie has to make sense for them to go spend their money. And so far, some of the movies that have came out has not done that. It just hasn't done it at all. To the point where some people are just like, I'll wait till it come on streaming. It just don't catch my interest like that. And not only that, but for this movie to be a prequel, very well put together. Because we've seen with some prequels that have came out, they've been okay. They haven't done so well. They haven't did so well with some of the audience that went to go see them. So whenever you make a prequel to a film, it's kind of like a 50-50 chance that it may or may not do so well. But with this film, by being a prequel, it's definitely kicking ass at the box office. And it's drawing a lot of attention. A lot of people have been giving it great praises, and people are running to the theaters to go see this. So for me, on my scale of low, medium, high, I'm gonna give this movie a high. You definitely need to check this out. If you're a fan of the Quiet Place franchise, check it out. If not, if you're looking for a good, edge of your seat, intense horror film, this is it. Also, if you're looking for a good date night movie, this is definitely it. If you're taking your girl out, taking your guy out, this is a good date night film. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. So I want to hear from you guys. If you've seen A Quiet Place day one, let me know your thoughts. Did you like it? You didn't like it? You know, what were some of the things that you did enjoy? Let's have this conversation. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned.